Okay, now this is the furnace and air handler for the house. I'm sure a lot of people would probably want me to make a video of it, so I am. It is a Lennox Elite Series. I'm not sure what year is on this furnace. If someone could tell me how to check, that'd be great. Because you know me, I always like to know when something was made. Um, you know, this is actually the over at our regular home. We actually have a boiler instead of a furnace. So this is actually the very first time I've ever seen a furnace like this in person. I mean, I've always seen them on videos and like TV or whatever, but I'd never seen one in person. So I thought it'd be really cool to finally see one. And over here you can see you got the exhaust duct. It goes up to the. Let me move over here. It goes up to here, as you can see, and it goes up into the ceiling. And you can see it's attached to the exhaust duct of the water heater, which is okay because heat rises, and as long as the duct is working properly, it should be okay. And gas line is right here, which is good because as you can see, if ever heaven forbid we would have to use it, the gas valve is a very easy accessible position, which probably is code, but I mean at the same time it's very good to have. And also around here, here are the lines for the air conditioning when it's seasoned for that. You got the vapor line, you got the liquid line, and over here is the water for the condensation that comes off the evaporator. And as you can see, the drain is right here, goes into this little tank, and the pump is in there, and then when it comes time, it pumps it right out. And that was actually one of the things I first looked at when my brother first moved in here, was make sure that works properly, because I've heard of many cases where the condensate drain doesn't work properly, and you end up getting a lot of water on the floor, so no one really needs that ever. If I mentioned before, all these uninsulated vent ducts you see are just like, from the intake vents, so that doesn't really matter as much as, the discharge does. So, since the main focus is the furnace, we'll take a look inside. This cover is very easy to take off. And let me just lay this down right here. Alright. You got the inducer motor right there, gas valve assembly, and you got 4 burners that go into the heat exchanger pipes, as you can see there. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm not going to touch it for obvious reasons, but that little black kind of what looks like triangular thing, that's the hot surface igniter for it. And there's this little rod here that goes into the left burner. By the way things are looking, I would say that's probably the flame sensor. The thing that detects that the burner has successfully ignited and, keeps it on. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I actually, when my brother moved here, I actually cleaned this out a little bit. I mean, it doesn't look like I did much, but it looks better than it did. You just don't want to get a lot of crap in here, when you have flame, because that's, the last thing you need is a house fire. I'm sure any homeowner will let you know that. And the inducer motor is... I'm not sure how well you can see this, but it's made by Fasco. I've heard this company does a lot of inducer motors, so I mean, I guess they're good. I'm not sure, if it's American or not, but I mean, however old this is, it works fine, which is good. And what? Actually, this inducer motor, I mean, at least compared to some others I've seen on videos, this one is actually, compared to others, pretty quiet. I mean, it does make some noise. And you can actually hear it pretty well inside any of the vents, but that sounds worse than it actually is. It actually doesn't make too much noise at all. It's very tolerable, and the most important thing, of course, is that it works well, because the inducer motor is important for getting all the gas through the heat exchanger pipes and make sure that it gets out of that exhaust properly. The last thing you need is the exhaust not working properly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, I'm sure some of you want to see, I will put the camera on the tripod I'm always using. Just bear with me here. There we go. And Just turn this one light off right here. It'll probably look a little bit better, and turn off the camera light as well. So, so what I'll do now is I'll just run upstairs, click it on, and try to get a little bit of close shots. I don't want to get too close for obvious reasons, but I'll just show you how everything looks when it starts up. So, hang on, and you'll see it turn on. That must be a pretty impressive sight. Very similar to those who have seen my 1990 dryer video. It's basically the same process. The main blower isn't on yet because, you know, it has to warm up. But there's the burners going. Very nice flames. And I don't know how well you can hear it, but the inducer motor is running very well. It vibrates just a little bit, but I mean, overall it's still pretty well balanced. Maybe you just heard the main burner go on. That's probably, not the main burner, I'm sorry, the main blower. That's probably the only issue I really have with this furnace is that I don't think, because, yeah, this is just lukewarm right now still. I don't think it waits long enough for the heat exchanger to warm up properly until the main blower turns on. So, I mean, it's still getting warm, but at the same time, I don't think there's a long enough delay. And to be honest with you, I really don't know if there's a way to change that. And if there is, I probably don't want to touch it. You can see that rod is going right into the burner like I had said before, so I mean, I'm pretty sure that has to be the flame sensor. And you know, here, just for show, what I'll do is I'll put the cover back on temporarily. Hold on. Alright. And we'll shut the lights off. You can kind of get an idea of kind of creepy, isn't it? But it's actually a very cool thing to see. And there's really nothing to be afraid of. It's just a furnace. Of course, everyone remembers that growling furnace from Home Alone, I'm sure. That's a classic movie. And the blower usually does run long enough after the burner shuts off to, you know, make sure all the heat has dissipated properly. But yeah, the only thing I have is just like, you know, when the main blower turns on, I think it turns on just a little too early for when the burner starts up. I mean, if someone knows a way to adjust that, let me know, because I really would like to know that. And the what was I going to say? Like I said, I'm not sure how old this unit is, but so far it's working very well. We haven't had a single problem with it yet. And it does a good job. Yeah, I can barely hear this inducer motor right now, so it kind of tells you just how much quieter this one is compared to others that you've probably seen before. Yeah, we'll just see how it looks. We'll just get a shot with the light on, so maybe you can see it a little bit better. But you know, once it's fully warmed up, the amount of heat that comes out of the vents is excellent. I mean, there's definitely no complaints there. It's just the initial warm-up that I just have a concern about, that's all. Okay, I'll put the camera back down and we'll shut it down. And no, that was not a Black Eyed Pete reference either. Okay, go upstairs and turn it off. Now, I'm not sure if you heard it, but the inducer motor, after the burner shuts down, it runs for just a few seconds more. I guess just to ensure that all the gas is fully out of there, which is definitely safer. And as you can hear right now, the main blower is still going to get all the heat it possibly can from it. You can probably see the bearing for it. It's kind of hard to see with the camera, but it's right below the copper windings. It's like right near the part that turns. And yeah, overall it's a very good furnace. And this is basically what it sounds like right now during the air conditioning season. You know, with the exception of, like, you know, the noise that comes from the Freon lines, this is basically what it sounds like during the summer. And yeah, all this installation was put on by my dad. And some by me, but most of it was by him. And he did a great job. And yeah, it definitely insulates well compared to what's usually on there. Oh, and it turned off. And there you have it, folks. The Lennox Elite Series furnace. So far, so good. And hopefully you'll keep going for a long time. And as usual, thanks for watching.